I fully expect my talk tonight, by the grace of the Holy Spirit, to start a revolution of love and affirmation. If you take what I'm going to tell you into your own hearts and you go back to your home parishes and even here around campus and tend your own garden, a chain reaction of love and affirmation will begin. How many of you have parishes other than the one here? Like almost everyone. Yeah. And if you'd like to have me talk, if you like this talk and you'd like me to give it at your parish, please let me know. And I'd be glad to do that. Okay. Try to keep this going. Now, how many of you would like to overcome your spiritual and emotional troubles? How many of you would like to help others overcome theirs? Yeah. How many of you would like to have closer, happier, more satisfying relationships? All right. How about having greater self-confidence, less self-doubt, making it easier to make decisions? All right. How many of you would like to live a more peaceful, calm, relaxed life? Okay. Well, if you grasp the principles of what I'm presenting here tonight, this is what you can accomplish. And that's what's in it for you. I want to be open and honest about what's in it for me. I'm in the business of affirming people. I see a client's goodness and reflect that goodness back to the client so that the client can know his or her own goodness. I help couples mutually affirm one another, and starting with the first session. I help people have a more positive attitude towards themselves, especially towards their own emotions. And most people will achieve the results I mentioned earlier at the start of this talk more quickly through therapy. And we're talking about a difference between 6 months just out there, or 6 years just out there on your own, or 6 months going to therapy. The title of my talk is The Power of Being, How to Overcome Our Spiritual and Emotional Troubles. Now, what does the power of being mean? Is this some kind of crazy, newfangled, new age thing? It's not. It sounds like it a little bit, but it's not. It's based in the writings of St. Thomas Aquinas, and I think an experience is worth 1,000 words. So let's do an experiment, okay? First, I'd like to contrast being with doing. How do you feel right now? Do you feel like you've been going? Do you feel like your mind has been going? If so, this is doing. So you already have an experience of doing. Now let's contrast that to being. And if you want to do this experiment, please close your eyes. I'd like you to pay attention to your sense of taste. Maybe you have a taste in your mouth. Do you like or dislike the taste in your mouth? You may like or dislike the taste in your mouth. Now please turn your attention to your sense of smell. You may like or dislike whatever you smell. Now please turn your attention to your sense of touch. You may move your hands back and forth a little bit to feel the sensation of touch, whatever you are touching. You may like or dislike whatever you are touching. And now I'd like you to turn your attention to your sense of hearing and see if maybe you can hear something that you didn't notice while I was talking. You may like or dislike what you hear. Now please open your eyes and don't necessarily look at me, but look exactly straight ahead and look a little more closely, maybe seeing some details you didn't notice before. You may like or dislike what you see. And now, please turn your attention to your breathing. And maybe it's slowed down a little bit. The fact that we can taste, smell, touch, hear, and breathe is good because we are good. Because we are created in the image and likeness of God, if you look at Genesis. Can you feel your goodness? Do you feel calmer and more relaxed now? This is the power of being. This is a mere glimpse into the power of affirmation. Now that you have had a being experience, I'd like to do my best to teach you a little bit more about being. And like I said before, being is best understood in contrast to doing. So first I'd like to give you some statements of doing to kind of give you an idea of it. These are statements of doing or excessive striving. We are merely the sum of our actions. I'm striving for holiness or striving for perfection. I'm pursuing happiness. I'm trying to get to heaven. I'm fighting my unruly emotions. I'm reading my way to heaven. I think and rethink 20 times before making any decision and acting. Now let's compare this to some statements of being. We are our emotions. We not only, if I was angry right now, I would not only say, I feel angry, I would say, I am angry. And this is according to Aquinas. Everything we think or know has been first received by the senses. That is, we feel first and we know or think second. Now compare this to some of the things I said earlier. I am receiving the sacraments. I am receiving the reward of heaven. I am sitting with my suffering. I am sitting with you as you suffer. It is good to feel all of my emotions, even my fear, anger, and sadness. A major part of grasping what it means to be as opposed to do lies in understanding of affirmation. So I'm going to give you a definition that's really important for the rest of this talk. Affirmation in this talk means the emotional strengthening of a person. So this is how we overcome our self-doubt. It's when we are emotionally strengthened by another. Affirmation happens through the consistent affirming of one's being as good. And this process normally happens in the first 18 years of life by our mother and father. The rest of this talk will be about affirmation and what happens when we have either been or not been affirmed.